being in Uganda and being in a place where I had, talk about culture shock. It was a country that had been devastated by the cruelty of Amin. There was no food in the stores. There was nothing in the shops. Nothing. The only food that we could, well, what we'd do is, after being out in the dusty marketplaces preaching, we would pick up a pineapple from the market and go home, go back to the hotel, and just love this pineapple. It was just so refreshing. But then there were times when Jack asked me to do stuff. Back to my reluctant missionary. I mean, I would share Christ in the marketplace, and then when we went to R&R, to Mombasa, I just thought, I'm free from all the dust and dirt and poverty and sickness and death in Uganda. And then, so then in that evening, when Jack asked me to speak, I was furious. I didn't want to do any ministry. All I wanted to do was just enjoy just the freedom of not being. And I just kept this anger. And finally the storm just broke. And Jack said to me, "Rosemary, you act like an orphan." That was life-changing for me, because he was absolutely right. That's what he said, you act like the Holy Spirit never came, could never do anything for you, could never teach you, could never guide you. And that was in the streets of Switzerland while we were waiting for our plane to take us back. And I thought, right there in the middle of the street, I said, Lord, he's absolutely right. That is what I do. That is the DNA of my life. That is, if it's not up to me, if I can't get it done, then it can't get done. And so then 6 months later, we went back, and I couldn't wait to get back. And that was the power and presence of the Spirit in my life. Now, that doesn't happen every day or all the time. I wish that it did. But at this moment, that was memorable to me. I mean, that was so memorable. I mean, you know, most of us know what Jack said, you know, cheer up, you're worse than you think. And I had to learn that I was worse than that was pretty bad, and how much I needed grace. But it's constant emphasis to me on living out of grace, living out of the gospel. I mean, that was the thing that was most life-changing for me.